Would you like to turn your idea into an invention, but you don't know where to start? Every day, people just like you come up with great ideas that have the potential to be successful products. Sometimes even by accident. The problem is knowing how to get your idea out of your head and onto the shelf. And there are plenty of mistakes and scams to be avoided. What you need is a map to lead you step by step through the invention development process. Let us show you how to conceive, prototype, protect, refine, and monetize your invention. Inventing Success, your guide to becoming a successful inventor.
Welcome back to Inventing Success. I'm here with Natasha Hopkins, who's a successful inventor, and we're going to talk about your sports bra product today. But before we do that, you have kind of an interesting day job. Why don't you tell us about that?
I am a stunt woman and an actress, and that adrenaline rush is really addicting. So falling down stairs and car crashes. I fell out of a moving car. We're going like 30 miles an hour.
You know, most people try and avoid that.
No.
You're going out trying to get paid to do that. Okay, well, that's fine. But I imagine that being an athlete professionally, as well as just being a very athletic person your whole life, maybe that's where the motivation came from for your invention?
Yeah, absolutely. Also knowing that there are other people out there that might not have the comfort like I do, like my sister has really big boobs. You know, it was very hard for her to just go out there and
Do you have any
run.
pictures of your sister? Sorry.
I do, actually.
What is the need in the marketplace? What does your product address?
For somebody like my sister who has big boobs, it was very difficult for her to just go out there and jog. It hurt her. This product just, it absorbs everything and it gives you that form, that hourglass. It hugs your waist, so it gives you that hourglass figure, but also it supports you so you're not jumping all over the place, but also it looks very appealing, so it's kind of sexy at the same time. The bottom portion, it's neoprene. It makes you sweat, promotes water weight loss, which promotes weight loss in the hard to reach section, which is, you know, your torso. So combined, that's what makes the lean body bra.
How did you come up with the idea for what the invention was actually going to be?
I knew it was in my head. I sketched it out. I put an ad on Craigslist and I hired someone to sew it for me. And it took a lot of prototypes, but I just knew what I wanted and as a woman how I wanted to feel and how it needed to fit. This was one of the first. So this is the neoprene, and this is, you know, what makes you actually sweat. This only has the elastic for the arm and the shoulders. And then we put just a thin layer of a bra cup. Just a little baby foam.
I see there's a flap over on this side. What's that?
When I would zip it up, my skin would get caught. So then we had to add the flap. So when you do zip it up, it doesn't catch your skin.
What did you learn from this first prototype?
I needed more support on the top. One. Number two, we added the lip because it could catch you. And the third thing I learned is that when I would work out, I would have sweat dripping down my legs because it works. And that leads us to the next prototype.
Great, let's take a look at that.
Okay, number two, we added the absorbent fabric.
So the point of this was in building and trying out the first prototype, you realized that one of the things that you hadn't yet addressed was the issue of sweat sort of dripping out from under this thing. And so you put an absorbent band at the bottom so you wouldn't have sweat pouring out the bottom. Because part of the point of this is to make you sweat, to lose weight.
The beauty was in that too, though, because it really worked. I mean, we knew it was going to work, but just just to see it. It was just confirmation.
So how close to your production product is this?
It's cut in a square, and I wanted to have the hourglass figure. So with the last one, it is cut, like the pattern would be cut this way, so when it's sewn together, it'll give that hourglass feel.
So the next step was filing your provisional patent application, right?
Right.
Okay. And that broke down into a couple different steps. The first is doing a novelty search. So we went out and did some research to see what other patents were out there. And as I recall, we found that it was pretty wide open. There really weren't any patents that even came close to what your idea was, right?
Right.
Okay. And the reason we do that is to, number one, make sure we're not infringing anybody else's patents, and number two, to try and understand how broad a patent we can get to make sure we have as much protection for the idea as possible.
To protect confidential information, Inventing Success does not discuss the contents of a patent until it issues.
We filed a provisional patent application,
Right.
and then we converted that or took advantage of the filing date of the provisional to
Right.
file a non-provisional application, both of which are utility patents. So it's a provisional utility patent and then a non-provisional. And you're a couple years into the roughly 3 years it takes to get a patent issued.
And I got something recently, about a month or two ago, saying that it's going to the next.
That's great.
Yes.
Congratulations. You're getting very close to having an issued patent.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
I know. I can't believe it, really.
How do you take it from one of these to being able to make them by the thousands?
We take a pattern, which we spoke about earlier. This is a pattern.
Now, how many of these do you need? How many pattern pieces are there for one
Oh,
garment?
there's so many.
You know, it's funny because like I'm looking at this and it seems like a tiny piece of this, and this seems like a very simple garment, but I'm guessing there's what, like a dozen different patterns or something, maybe more?
There are, because we have the bra cups that need to be placed a certain way. We have the elastic. We have different sizes of elastic, and they have to be cut at a very specific location to get the tightness.
It looks like you made these patterns, right?
Right,
Okay.
right.
So
These are
you
homemade.
you made a whole set of patterns, so 10 or 12 pieces, whatever, for each size.
Yes.
And then you go to a professional grading provider, or
Right.
okay, and then that grading place makes these patterns that are used for producing garments.
Right, and what they do is the computer actually calculates all of the sizes.
Did you go to other women and get their input? Did you make samples and test them and
Right.
get their feedback? Did you ask them for suggestions and ideas? How did you do that?
We had almost 200 models come in.
Wow.
And we developed just a format saying, where do you shop? What's your price range? Is there anything on the market that you're 100% comfortable with? If you could change something, what would it be? So it was the way we tested the market.
So you did really serious focus group work. I mean, really serious consumer testing.
Absolutely. We had a lot of women come in. We chose 8 in every size, from like an extra small, medium, large to triple large.
You actually did real world testing. I mean, you did like lab testing. You sent them out into the world with your prototypes and said, wear them, let me know what works, let me know what doesn't work, let's see what fails, let's see what lasts. And so that was another great lesson. But those are all functional and design things. You also said you asked some questions about what would you pay or where do you shop. What did you learn about that?
I was surprised. Most of the women said they would pay above average cost to get a bra that works. The industry looked over that, but it's a huge market and it's very unfortunate.
You now have a production-ready product. You have to decide how you're going to commercialize this, how you're going to monetize it. I think we talked a little bit about 2 basic options. One is you can license it to an existing manufacturer or marketer, and they can add it to their line or create a new line and let them do all the hard work, or you can decide to manufacture and market on your own. What did you decide?
After I spent the last 3 years in developing and learning the business and falling in love with my models, just knowing that I'm providing something that is not yet on the market, it's extreme gratification. So now I feel like it's my baby, and it would be very hard to let it go. Everything about it, and learning and being confident. You know, I'm confident. At first I wouldn't like for people to call me a designer, but now I'm like, I earned it. I know about patterns and grading, and I really, it's a passion of mine, and I have other prototypes for other sports bra designs, and now I really want to do it full force.
You have the product manufactured, and you say that's where the sales and marketing starts. So what's that look like? What is the sales and marketing campaign?
Well, we will be opening a series of retail stores, but now we have our website, so you can buy online, and we have selected gyms as well.
I'm wondering if there's something that you can tell our viewers that is going to encourage them or help them in their journey, particularly if, like you, they start out without any particular specific technical knowledge or experience in inventing.
I would say trust your gut. I would also say do your research. You know, like when we did our clinical testing, you want to make sure it works, because you don't want it to hit the market and then you're like, oh, I forgot, I didn't think about that part too, especially as an invention. I feel I have been successful so far, but there are nights that I would just cry. When I got my office, I would just cry. But you know, being overwhelmed, but also exciting, and it's like, wow, this is really real. You know, the thing that surprises me about this whole project is that in my head, I really thought everything was going to happen in 1 year. Really. And then once you go day to day and you're like, oh, I need to set this up, or I have to do this, I have to do my PayPal, how does that work? And you're learning and the trademarking, you know, you realize that it really, you're so consumed in it, and you almost don't care about the time. And then 3 years later, or 2 years, or 5 or 8 years, and then it happens, and then you just, it's right on time when it needs to be. But looking back, I didn't think that I just thought it was going to be a lot easier, to tell you the truth. I really did.
Natasha, thank you so much. It's been really interesting. Congratulations on all your success, and we wish you continued success with your great invention.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.